Welcome to my guide for the Marksman Hunter. Just to let everyone know, I am not Marksman main spec, I am Survival Hunter, as I have played Marksman many times before. This guide is based upon the Blackwing Lair patch and also the upcoming Sul'Gurub patch. Let's first of all dive into the talents. As this guide is based upon my preferences as I see it, then we have 3 options for talents. The first choice is also the one that you should be striving for as a Marksman Hunter, including 5 points into Beast Mastery, 31 into Marksman and 15 into Survival, as you can see. I consider the My Choice talents to be a pretty straight up build, and if you are hit capped, this is the build for you. The Marksman Pet build is for those of you who are very good at managing your pet. However, it's not recommended for everyone, as the pet needs to have about 80 to 90% uptime, and yeah, the pet will die a lot in raiding. A lot, and I mean Blackwing Lair, Molten Core, there's a lot of AoE going on, and if you can't keep your pet up, don't even bother with this, you're just wasting DPS. So, the hit cap build is basically what you're going to be starting out with, but you're going to be working your way to get to my choice build. And yeah, hit cap, it is pretty good. I like it. It's decent for PvP as well. Sure-footed, not bad. And 3 hit, yeah, you get 3 extra hit from talents. Not many classes get it. Using the hit cap build, you will have a lot more option for gear. You have the option to pick up a lot more gear with crit on it, which is pretty much what you're lacking as a Marksman Hunter. You're going to be a bit below crit compared to a Survival Hunter, so it might be worth it. You're probably going to be running the hit cap build for a long time until you get to the hit cap just purely on gear, and that's going to take you all the way into Blackwing Lair to get your best in slot items from there. And yeah, you're going to have to run Blackwing Lair, Molten Core, and everything. Now that we have that close look on the talents, let's get to the gear, and let's start out with your pre-best in slot items, and I'm going to divide this into 2 categories, as the real hardcore best in slot and the more casual best in slot items, those that are a lot more easy to get compared to the more grindier item gains. Let's start off with the pre-bis gear based upon the My Choice talents. As you can see, not based upon the hit cap talents, you will not be hit capped, you will be lacking 1% in ranged hit. So, all you have to do is remove 1 point from Improved Aspect of the Hawk and add it to Sure-footed. This gear setup will give you around 20.5% crit chance, without enchants on any gear. I have included 3 items that are not from dungeons, those being Bloodseeker, that you get when you're completing the quest to win an Alterac Valley, and the second one being the Harpy Hide Quiver, that you get from being revered with Alterac Valley, and Don Julio's Band, that you get when you are exalted. Other quest items that are included in this set is 1. The Backwood Helm, 2. Mark of Fordring, 3. Royal Seal of Elder Thalas, 4. Blackhand's Breath. Most of these items you are able to get while farming for other parts of this item setup. So, Barbarous Blade, for example, can be had when you are going for a Tarnished Elven Ring or 2, also Royal Seal of Elder Thalas. Backwood Helm and Warpwood Binding can be found in Dire Maul West, both of them. The hardest item to get on this list, and it should not be understated, is the Savage Gladiator Chain, and I do not consider it realistic that you should ever get one. It is a super low drop chance, and you should be very lucky if you will ever see it drop. Now for the less grindy gear setup, but decent in every way. It has a lot of crit compared to how little effort you have to put into actually getting these items. Their hit is not that good, but if you go with the hit talents, you at least are close to the hit cap. So I think it is a valuable option to go with. It is a value proposition here that we could consider talking about. It's your time and effort versus how much damage output you will do. And I think this is a very decent build. It will definitely carry you through Molten Core. The hardest item out of all of these to get is the Harpy Hide Quiver, because it will require you to grind Alterac Valley until you get revered. On the other hand, the Tarnished Elven Rings may be hard to get. However, if you know how to solo Dire Maul North Tribute Run, or you can get another hunter to just do the Tribute Run solo, and then you can basically buy it off him if it drops. Also take note how 8 of these items are from Dire Maul North or West. And Dire Maul has a lot of really good hunter items for you to pick up. Now let's move on to the best in slot raiding gear. First up is what I like to call the max crit item build. I'm basing this build upon the Rock Delar bow, as it is a lot more realistic to have than the crossbow from Chromagus. As in its name, this build is based upon giving you as much ranged crit as possible. And as you can see, some of the items are from Molten Core, quite a lot of them. We have the Quick Strike Ring, Crown of Destruction, Giant Stalker Shoulders, Wrist Guards of True Flight, and One Hand's Brutality Blade and Core Houndtooth. I also want to highlight that I've actually put the Sul'Gurub enchants on the head, the legs, and the shoulders. Now you can ask, why have I done that? Because Sul'Gurub is bound to be out in a couple of months or so, and I don't think most of you guys are gonna spend, 600 gold on getting plus 8 agility on the head and the legs. What is more realistic as an enchant than, 8 agility on head and legs? I would consider going for the 1% attack speed increase on both head and leg. Some of you may have questions now. Why are you not going with full Dragon Stalker? Why are you not going with the Prestor's Talisman for Marksman? And it is simple. The Prestor's Talisman is a survival hunter item. I mean, it's not gonna give you a full crit. As a Marksman Hunter, you need how much agility? 53? Yeah, that's a lot of agility. 30 agility is not gonna cut it. You're only gonna get half a crit of that. You're gonna get 1.20 crit from the Onyxia Tooth Pendant. So it is a lot better for Marksman Hunters than the Prestor's Talisman. Crown of Destruction, also another item. 2 crit. I mean, Dragon Stalker is 1.5 crit. But I consider Crown of Destruction to be superior if you just want to maximize the amount of crit that you have as a Marksman Hunter. You may also take note that I've put Drakefang's Talisman in here. I mean, yeah, it is going to be hard to get when you're competing against rogues and warriors, and that hugely affects the hit cap, but you can always swap your Quick Strike Ring for another one with hit cap. For example, the Elven Ring from Dire Maul. And you can also invest talent points into Sure-Footed to get the extra hit cap that you need until you can get the Drakefang Talisman. And just to be clear, I have not put the 3% hit cap on the ranged weapon. I do not like it. Especially as a Marksman Hunter, you need to scale with weapon damage. You're gonna want to have as much weapon damage as possible. You want the 7+ damage, just pure damage on the weapon, because that's gonna scale with your talents. As a Marksman Hunter, it's not gonna scale as good with survival, for example. I mean, survival, sure, you can go with the 3 hit scope. if you can afford it. I'm personally not doing it. I do not like the 3-hit scope. I prefer to get a hit from the gear and talent instead. Take note how there's 5 Dragonstalker pieces on this table for you to choose from. And I mean, the 8 set bonus is not that good. It takes up a debuff. So yeah, your raid leader might not want you running it. You know, he might want you to favor the warlocks so they can get a little extra DPS because God knows they need it. Now for option number 2, the Giant Stalker. 8 out of 8. That's what you're gonna be wanting. This is similar in item setup, apart from that you're using 8 out of 8 Giant Stalker. And remember, this is the same build as the previous one, talent-wise. The main difference is just a tiny bit less ranged crit, and you get the bonus from having 8 pieces of Giant Stalker, which is 15% more damage on your multi-shot and volley shot spells. And I would consider sticking with this all the way through AQ40 as well, up until Naxxramas, because you're pretty much getting a new rank of multi-shot when AQ20 drops, and you can get that new sweet rank of multi-shot, and you're gonna be critting for around 2k with the crossbow from Chromagus. That being said, your crits with Roctalar is more like 1800-ish max, I think. Which is still a lot more than a survival hunter. I mean, a survival hunter will probably max out around 1600 multi-shot crits. I don't have that much more to say about this gear setup. I think it's the best that you can get as a marksman. It is definitely going to last you up to max, and I don't see why you should be picking up anything else than what I have here. I mean, maybe in AQ40 you can pick up some other, you know, stat stick melee weapons, but yeah, you can be fine on this until Naxxramas. You're not gonna notice that much of a difference. Now, I don't have that much more to say upon this. I will probably make an updated guide or a new one, completely new for marksmen, if the need arises, if people don't get what I'm trying to get at here with this guide. I will be taking feedback, looking over what I've done well, bad, etc. And my next guide is going to be for Survival Hunter, how you're going to have to stack those agility to get them agility gains. You need a lot of agility for Survival Hunter to be viable, and it is only viable pretty much for Alliance Night Elf Hunters. And I will be talking more about that in the upcoming Survival Hunter guide, which is going to be huge. If you got any additional questions, leave it down in comments, and yeah, for more videos, wait around a week or so.